Welcome to another video with me, Veerle, and this time this video is all about a redirection, a refocus of your energy. So for those of you who are watching this on the Astrology channel, give me a little bit of feedback, will you? Because these are going to be a new series of videos that I'm going to put on a different channel as well, and that is all about a toolbox of, if you know yourself, that's one thing, but what can you use as a tool to improve yourself and to get better and to be more successful in life, to attract what you want because you exude it as well. So back to this, and again, if you're watching this on the Astrology channel and you're saying, I just want to have astrology here, fine, do the comment there, and we'll see. But so it's so important to have your focus right, okay? Because when I'm doing readings for people and I'm talking about this subject of, I see that, for instance, a pattern that they're more going towards scarcity than towards abundance, I explain this as well. That, mind you, what you're putting a lot of your energy and your emotions in, mind you, and be aware of it. That's the first step. Then you can redirect it towards more positive energy. So we don't attract, of course, what we want, we attract what we exude. That's the whole story behind it. And if we know and catch ourselves that we are exuding really, really tight energy and controlling energy, an energy of not trusting, an energy of scarcity, then that is going to become bigger. It's as simple as that. But if we know it, we can redirect it. We can say, hold your horses, and we can redirect towards something else, and that is going to grow. It's not about putting your head in the sand. A lot of people think, yes, but if I'm not going to focus on that problem or on something that I want to fix, or if I'm not going to focus, it's going to never ever go away. And that is the mistake that we all make. Because what you focus on is going to become bigger. If you're going to focus on a problem, it's only going to grow. If you're going to focus on, okay, this is what I can do today, and I let go of it, and I focus towards what is working in my life, the chances are going to be very, very big that it's going to grow. And I'm going to give you some examples, because what am I talking about? I'm talking about day-to-day life. I'm talking about, if you know yourself, that this is the key, of course, towards a better life, because then you know how to redirect, and then you master your life, so to speak. And I'll give you an example. If you are traveling, for instance, don't you know those people? I certainly was like that. Not so long time ago, actually. But you catch yourself on it. That you're traveling and you're in the best hotel and it's with the nicest people there, with the best food and the most beautiful view. But there is just one annoying thing in the hotel. Whatever it is, maybe a little sound, maybe the airco is going too much. There's just one little thing. And you're going to focus on that. That problem is going to become bigger, of course. And even, you don't know them. Those people, that they can ruin a vacation just because one little detail is not going well. Now, what to do about this is first and foremost knowing that you're doing it, because you're not only giving yourself a hard time, but also the people around you. Because you are so focused on what is going wrong and you're making it such a huge thing that it's only going to become bigger. So what to do is first and foremost seeing it and saying, hey, I'm on a vacation here and this is going good and this is going good. Not for putting your head in the sand and then because of one little problem is occurring there and you don't want to focus on it, but just be appreciative. Or how do you say that? And when you're doing that, you can't do things at a time. You can't worry, and at the other time, you can't just be appreciative. Is that the word? You can't do the same. When you're more focusing on, oh, this is going well, and this is this, and it's nice, that energy is going to grow, because you're going to get into that vibration of abundance. You're going to get there, and before you even knowing it, the problem can be solved by itself, or by just you saying to maybe the staff there, oh, there's a little problem there. If you can fix it, fine. If not, also fine. I mean, I can deal with it. It's only a little problem. The chances are very, very big that when you are out and about in the city and you go back to your hotel, the problem is fixed. That's how it works. What you exude, you get back, not what you want. So if you exude, oh, this is little, this is not a big deal, it's going to stay like that. And it's going to be solved even faster. Of course, if you can solve the problem immediately at once, fine. But this is about the things that are out of our control that I'm talking about. Another example, for those of you who have teenagers or had teenagers, we all know that they're in a stage that they're doing stuff that we don't like. Let's say, for instance, you have a son or a daughter, and they are not really doing well with the studying. You know, they have all that capacity, and you know it, but they're just, they're just laying and scrolling on and whatever they're doing, or they're going out and partying and all of that. The more those parents, they are so much focused on that child, what is going wrong with the child, that it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and the child senses that as well. It senses, specifically puberty, right? Teenagers, they sense that. It says that, oh, I'm not good enough. They don't see the good stuff. They only focus on my points. And is that how you want to love me, right? And it all becomes bigger. And before you're knowing it, you are having a really, really hard time with the connection with your child. And again, this is not saying like put your head in the sand. This is saying of put less energy onto that problem. And typically when it's out of your control. Because a teenager, you can't just tell them what to do anymore. And they're supposed to figure it out themselves. And they're supposed to be responsible for themselves. Of course, with common sense. And I've seen it many, many times, certainly when my son was a teenager. Not only myself, but also friends of mine, that the more you focus on that thing that they're not doing well, the bigger it gets. And when you're saying, okay, they sorted it out, trust that he or she will sort it out themselves. I trust, right? But I'm keeping an eye, but I trust that this is going to be sorted out themselves. And I focus also on the good things that they have. They have good friends, or they're very polite when they meet my friends or whatever. And also focusing on what you're appreciating in the connection with that child. The chances are big that it's going to be solved very, very fast. I mean, I'm talking out of experience and of seeing, a lot, and working with people as well with my astrology. So whatever you focus on, it becomes bigger. And not only focusing with thinking, but also with emotion. If you think like, he or she is not doing well at school, and you're talking about it with your friends, you're having a cafe or a glass of wine or whatever, you're talking about, they're not doing well, blah, blah, blah. It all becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Focus on the things that are going well. Focus on and say to yourself, okay, I trust that, this girl and boy, they're smart enough. They'll figure it out. Detach yourself emotionally a little bit, and you will see that this works all of the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it with so much conviction. So try it. As well with, let's say, so when you focus on that scarcity, you focus on that problem, it only becomes bigger. And focus on the things that, redirect yourself. And you have to do it sometimes with a little bit of effort, like, come on, Veerle, don't look at it. Detach yourself from it. Detach from the energy and do something else. But that is power. It's going to give you so much power. And when you redirect yourself, you first have to catch yourself that you have to redirect yourself, right? And you do something that raises your energy and in a positive way. And that is what you're going to send out to the universe, and the universe is going to give you back. What you are, the universe is giving back to you. So this is something that I definitely say a lot towards the people that are having readings with me on the astrology. But it works for everybody. And last example that I want to give is when people are desperately falling for someone. They're falling in love with a special person, and they put that special person, of course, on a pedestal. And they kind of, you can be so focused on the lack, right? You can be so focused on, I want that person, and there's a lack of it, and you don't have them, and you're not happy. So what you're sending out to the universe is, I don't have that person, right? So the universe is going to say, oh, they like it, we are going to continue with this. Instead of course, what the astrology can do is definitely go deeper and why you are falling for someone who you can't get. There's certainly a pattern there for sure, which is important to know. This is very often about validation. This is very often about seeking validation outside of you rather than inside of you. And you're going to typically pick someone out. That could be a pattern that one parent didn't give you enough the attention as well, and that's why in this life still, as an adult, because this is not healed, you're gonna really, really work with that energy and just attracting it so you can understand it. So again, when this is happening with you, something that you really can do is refocus again. That you know that if you want this person, first and foremost, you don't need this person. You can say to yourself that you don't need them, that you're okay without them, but you're kind of detaching yourself from that need. You kind of say, oh, this person, I like them. If they're in my life, good. If they're not, also good. That gives a totally different energy. So you don't put them on a pedestal anymore, because when you put someone on a pedestal, you put yourself out there somewhere. You don't want that. You want equality in love, right? And so when you put off your focus on that person, and when you focus a little bit more on you, what is typical? Exactly. You're going to have more fun. You're going to do things that are, when you're doing this consciously and with effort, consistency, it's going to work. It's going to work. You're going to get focused on the self, and two things can happen. This person can come to you because they sense that, they sense all that energy that you were putting towards them. And energetically, they feel that. When someone is like doing this to you, what are you going to do? You're going to run, right? And when someone is feeling, oh, they're not putting that much energy, they can do two things. They either come to you or they don't. And to be okay with they don't, right? So what you focus on is so important in life, and to be aware of how this energetically, where you put energy towards, it is so important, because life is so short here in this 3D world now with the body that you're having. We are eternal beings, for sure. But it's so important to not waste your energy, and to stick to a certain pattern because you're not aware enough of that pattern and you're not growing. So I hope this was helpful, but this is the first video on my new channel about what you focus on. Be aware of it. I hope it helps you. And if it does, spread it just as an inspiration for other people. And let me know what you think about this new channel, this new idea. I'm going to call it the toolbox of, if you know thyself, what you can do to have a happier life, a more enjoyable life, to attract what you want, and because you exude that already. That's the goal. Anyways, thank you so much, and see you next time. By the way, every week I'm going to make a video. Bye-bye.